guys, welcome to another live session of Earthworks Hub. I'm really happy to see so many people back on here on this Sunday evening, the 23rd of June, 2024. Guys, tonight I'm excited. I've got a really good story to tell you, a really good topic. We're going to be talking about high-speed car chases, machines being stolen. I'm going to be talking about some of the things that have happened to me, going through some stories, exciting stories, man. Some of you guys will resonate with some of these things. And I'll talk about some experiences I had with machines going missing. So make sure you hang around for the topic. I'll go through the usual stuff first to start with, which is my week and what's been happening. And then I'll get into the topic. But yeah, if you're keen to hear about how my machines got taken and some of the things I had to go through, make sure that you hang around, and I'll go through those after the first formalities. But as usual, I've got to start and thank all my sponsors. So thank you to Network Finance, Bole Group, Melbourne Tractors, Spartan Machinery, JR Safety Co, and Nexgen Landscapes. So thank you to those guys for being my sponsors. Project updates. You've probably been following me. If you have been following, I suppose, if you follow my posts, you sort of see what's happening during the week. Project Spalding, I've been mainly focusing on that. The basement jobs, we've basically come towards the end. I've only got a little bit left to do on there with the 5-tonner. But for now, I've moved over and focused on Project Spalding. This week on Project Spalding, which is the warehouse I'm building, for anyone that doesn't know, this week we've done a fair bit. I had the fence guys come in and start putting in all the fence posts, and also that includes the side gate and the side fences and the front gate. I've got the concreters have been there. I actually put a video out of myself using their 14-tonner to dig out all the car park area and the crossover, and then they sent their boys in to come in and spread all the crushed rock and roll it, and they started putting mesh in there and boxing and that. So we've got the car park is basically prepped and ready to go, and we're going to be pouring that tomorrow. So guys, it's all been happening. They did the infill inside the warehouse as well, so all the concrete has been infilled between the panels and the slab. And what else? And then yeah, the Sparky came in and ran a couple of extra wires for the front gate, which is going to be electric, so that way you just press a button and the gate's open. So yeah, the things are moving at Project Spalding. Thank you to everyone that's sharing this live. I can see people sharing. Thank you for the likes. As always, if I don't get to mention you throughout the session, please don't get upset. I've got a lot going on and I'm reading from Instagram and TikTok all at once, reading my notes. Everything's happening. On top of that, I've got some exciting stuff that I'm going to be doing tonight. One of those things I'm going to be doing is opening this box. So I got a package here delivered during the week, and this was from Jack Healy from EMBE. So hopefully he's on here. I haven't had a quick look. I haven't looked closely, but hopefully he's on here. If not, I'm going to be opening this package. So I think he sent me something as a bit of a thank you for having him on as a guest on one of my podcasts. I have no idea what's in here. So hopefully it's something that's not going to embarrass me. I don't know what it is. But I did ask him, is it all right if I open it during the live? And he said it's up to me. So I'm going to open it in front of you guys. So I haven't opened it yet. You can still see all the tape on there. I'll have to cut that off. I'll speak a bit more. I'll go into that in another second. The posts I've been doing during the week. So obviously, like I said, I posted a fair bit of stuff with me working at Project Spalding. Prepping the car park. Actually, something I did do while I was loading out some concrete that was there. So I had some old footings that were in there for the old gate. And when I was loading them into the tipper, I thought I'll do a quick, questionnaire on it and say, what's the correct way to load this concrete out? Cody, how you going? Nice to see you again. So I loaded with the sorting bucket. I loaded a big piece of concrete footing like vertically or across the bucket, and then I loaded it with it actually inside the bucket and just asked the question, what's the best way to do it? And it was good to see a lot of responses on that one, and a lot of people were I suppose giving their opinions on why it should be loaded why you should pick it up in a certain way. I think the biggest thing people said was when you pick up the concrete, and actually lock it into the bucket, it's a lot safer. It won't drop out. So that was the majority of the answers I got. So good to see everybody getting involved with those questionnaires. And I let off a little bit of a sneak peek about a podcast I just did, and that's going to be released on Tuesday, and that's with the Digger Lead Boys. So if you haven't heard of them, these guys provide those lids or those covers for open cab machines. Very, very popular. A lot of people buy those. It actually keeps your I just saw Jack Healy join then. Jack, you might have just missed out. Sorry guys, I cut it off. I'm going to be opening your gift here, so you got to hang around. I was just saying I let off a little bit of a little bit of a I don't know what that word is for it again, but like a little sneak peek of a podcast that I've just recently done, and that's going to be with the Digger Lead Boys coming out this Tuesday. So keep your eyes out for that. That's going to be on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast, all the socials that I'm on. Make sure that you watch that and let me know what you think of it. Let's get into it, man. I'm going to open this gift from Jack. What do you guys reckon? Should I do it now? You got a choice. I can open his gift now and see what it is, or I can go through the topic and open it after the topic. Let's see. I'll take whatever the first answer is, I'll go with that. Jack, your answer doesn't count. Oh, Bless those is saying, let's see it. Okay, all right, let's do it, man. I got scissors here. Let me see. I'll open this up. Hopefully, I don't cut myself. Jack, any hints on what this could be? Sydney Rockwall saying go for it. I really hope it's not something embarrassing. It's not like a blow-up doll or something, is it? Jack, I'm counting on you here, hopefully. Pro Excavation saying go open it. All right, let's do it. I'm struggling a bit here. I was just saying I hope it's not like a blow-up doll or something. Oh! Here we go. Here we go. I have no idea what that is. Let's see. Hope it's not a bloody spider or something in there. Woo! Look at this. All right. Look at this. Guys. So I have a series of pens here. Good promotional material, Jack. Good idea. Echuca, Moama, Bobcat, and Excavation Hire. So we've got pens with his phone number on there. Guys, thank you very much for that, Jack. I always, you know what? I lose pens that much. Yarra Valley Earthworks, thanks for joining as well. I lose so many pens throughout the week because I always let people write stuff down and they take my pens and never give them back. So thank you. These pens will be handy. And I've got myself a stubby holder. Well, actually, 2 stubby holders. Echuca, Bobcat, and Excavation Hire. How cool is that? These are actually awesome, man. I will be using these because I do like a bit of a drink. Thank you very much for that, Jack. Are you still on here? Hopefully you're on. That's that. I think there was something else in here. Hang on. Oh, what is this? Hang on a second. Oh yeah, check this out. There you go. EMBE from Mr. Jack Healy. There you go, guys. Thank you very much for that, Jacko. Keep unloading, he says. Keep unloading. Oh, don't tell me there's more. Thank you very much for that. I'll just put it down here on the side. Oh my gosh, there's more. Wait. That's not working, is it? Wait, we're going to have to go to the other side. All right. Be patient with me, people. Be patient. Thank you to everyone for joining as well. Hopefully I'm keeping you entertained here. So this is, for anyone that's just logged in or tuned in, this is a gift I received from Mr. Healy from EMBE, I should say. 1 second. And thank you to everyone for all the likes I can see coming through. I will never get a job at Australia Post doing this, I can tell you that. 1 second, guys, 1 second. Gotta peel it all back. How much tape did you put on here? This is... Oh! Here we go. All right, here we go. Woo! Oh, I see more stuff in here. Hopefully I don't rip something. Hang on. I can feel something ripping there. I've got to be careful. All right, here we go. Oh. All right, that's it. I'll get rid of that. That's empty. What is this? Huh? Hang on a second. I don't know if I can actually show this. I might get myself in trouble here, but this is it's a lovely calendar from Mr. Healy. I don't know if I can show it because I've been banned on TikTok once. I don't know if I can show this. Who reckons I should take the risk? I don't know. I might get myself in big trouble here. Jack, thank you so much for this lovely calendar. This is definitely going to keep me motivated to list things on my on the calendar. Thank you so much for that, guys. This is a lovely calendar. I can't actually probably show it, but thank you so much for this calendar. It'll come in very handy. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And there's more. Wait, there's more. So he's given me this Yeti. Why does it say open me? Is there more in here? Hang on a second. He's giving me this Yeti. Is that like a flask? What is this? That is it's a can insulator. I like it. I like it. What does it say? Open me. Lock and unlock gasket. Oh. Ah. Is that right? Am I supposed to just open that little thing? Is that right? Have I done this right? Oh my gosh, what have I done? Anyway, guys, I won't take up too much of your time. Thank you very much for this, Jack. You've given me one of these Yeti can insulators. Thank you so much for all your gifts. I really appreciate you coming on as a guest as well, man. If I haven't taken everything out, let me know. But it looks like everything's come out. If I'm supposed to do something else, tell me as well. No, I think that's it. Take the label off. Oh, is that what he's saying? All right, let me have a look at this. Take the label off. Hang on. Tell me to take the label. I'll take it off here while everyone's watching. Am I going to get in trouble? I hope there's nothing under here. It's not meant to be here. Oh. Ah. Look at that. There you go. That's why he's saying to take it off. EMBE can insulator. People are liking the live. People are loving it. Thank you very much, Jack. This is all going to go up in the back up here. So in the background, I really, really appreciate the gift. So thank you very much. And these pens will get good use as well. So thank you very much for that. Really, really good, man. I'm really, really happy. Thank you so much. And like I said, I really appreciate you coming on as a guest. Guys, hopefully you've seen that episode where I talked to Jack. Very, very down-to-earth Aussie bloke. Giving everything a bit of a crack in Earthworks. Make sure that you watch that episode and you can actually learn from it. So Jack tells it as it is, running a business as an owner-operator. He just, like I said, down to earth, tells it straight up. So make sure you watch that episode. Thank you very much. That calendar is going to be very handy. All right. So I'll go straight into my topic here. And I'm sure most of you guys are probably keen to hear about it. So I've actually, on one of my episodes, I spoke about my business and mentioned how some of my machines got taken. And I did say that a lot of us in the Earthworks industry that have machinery will eventually have something stolen or diesel siphoned, and that it happens. It's inevitable, especially when, and I found it was happening a lot more when I had a lot more employees and a lot more machines, and they were sitting out on sites. So they were, open to the elements, and people could easily access the machines and stuff. So I found that the thefts and incidents increased when I had more machines and more people. So tell me what you guys think if you've had the same sort of experience, but that's what I had. Now, and more vulnerable, I suppose, because your machines are vulnerable. They're out on these big civil sites, open. Usually, you just got temporary fencing around, not many people, so they come and take advantage. There was 1 year in specifically though, and this 1 year, I always say it's because I went on a big overseas holiday. It was like I got punished when I got back. So we went on a huge holiday. Everything was good. Had all my guys working. Everything was happy. And then the following year, or just straight after I came back, all these things started happening. And like I said, I felt like I got punished for going away. So the first incident I had, and that's not the main one, but the first one I had was my 20-ton machine got broken into. They ripped all the stereo out. They actually couldn't get the stereo out of it was a Cabalco SK210, so they couldn't get the stereo out by itself. So they actually started stabbing it with a screwdriver or whatever it was they had. Stabbed all the dashboard around it, ripped it all apart, took the UHF. I think they took my vandal covers then as well. Yeah, that's right. They took the vandal covers. What else? Bent the door open. So they jimmied the door open, and it was nearly 10 grand worth of damage because just the door itself was a massive amount to repair and replace. So that was on the SK210. Then a few months later on a different site, that same machine, the SK210, I had someone broke in again. This time though they took the hammer and the ripper. So we came in the morning, and I saw my machine in the paddock with its arm up in the air, just an empty hitch, and all the buckets were on the ground. And then as we got closer, I saw truck tire marks coming in under the dipper arm. You could see the truck tire marks, and my hammer was gone, and the ripper was gone. So obviously someone knew what they were doing. When we actually went, and Melbourne Tractors were really helpful with that because they could see on their system what time the machine was started and how long it ran for. You would not believe it happened on a Sunday morning at 5 a.m. and the machine ran for 2 minutes. So it took them only 2 minutes to turn the machine on, quickly put the hammer onto the back of a truck, or whatever they used, but looked like a truck. It looked like truck tires because they had two sets of two tires, and then obviously had enough time to put the ripper on, and then just left the machine open. The worst thing is that it rained that night, and because they left the door open and everything was undone, all the inside of the machine got soaked. And what else was they cut all the locks off and everything. So that was another time. Then in that same year, believe it or not, I only bought a Kubota SVL 75, so an SVL 75 Posi Track. I just bought it. It was probably less than a year old. We'd been leaving it on the landscaping site we were working on out in, was that Mernda? I think it's Mernda. And we had it on a landscaping site there. I had my tip truck on site and the Posi Track, and every night my operator would park them side by side. And one morning he came in and said to me, I think it was a Monday morning, and he said, "Did you take that Posi Track home by any chance? Did you pick it up on the weekend?" And I said, "No, it should still be there." And he said, "Well, all I've got here is the smudge bar and the tip truck. The machine has gone." So I said, "Go and speak to the supervisor, have a look around." So they followed the track marks and they went around the site, and then there was a temporary fence knocked down. So they obviously used the Posi Track to knock down the fence. They followed the mud down the road, and then it just disappears. So obviously they had a truck lined up down the road and put the Posi Track on and went. Unfortunately, on that Kubota, there's no tracking, so I couldn't track it. So in that same time, I had a 1.8, the 20 tonner broken into twice. Once they actually took the hammer and the ripper, then they actually took the whole SVL 75. Believe it or not, the police didn't even come out, man. We called the police to come out, and they just said, "Have you got insurance?" And I said, "Yep." And they said, "Well, we'll just give you a report. There's no point us coming out." They didn't even bother coming out to have a look. Crazy. So anyway, we tried to do some of the research ourselves. I knocked on some of the doors from the locals that had cameras, and no one really could help us anyway. So none of the houses there had cameras and that. I don't know, nothing, and some of them did, but they said it doesn't work, and I don't know, no one's really helpful. Anyway, lucky I had insurance. However, my insurance premium jumped. It jumped. I can't remember how much, but it jumped heaps. I think it like almost doubled. As a result, the insurance company told me that I need to get tracking on all my machines, otherwise it will not be covered for the next theft. So I booked in to get all my machines to get tracking devices installed and immobilizers on every machine. So they were supposed to be coming on a Friday. On Thursday, so this is going a few years back, on the Thursday I had a yard and I had a 1.8 ton machine, like Kubota U17. I had one of those with a hammer and everything on the trailer. So I had a proper trailer set up for it with ramps and everything. And it was actually a tilt trailer. And I used to tow that with my Mazda little T4600, a little 4-ton tipper. And I got home from a job on Thursday. I got to the yard on a Thursday afternoon, reversed it back into the yard, and locked it all up. And what I did, I used to always have a habit of putting on the little the hitch lock on to connect the actual, like to lock it to lock the trailer to the tow ball. So I had the hitch lock on there. So that night, Thursday night, I got home. And I remember, so that yard that I owned behind my yard, so there was a few like empty yards around there. The one behind me had a whole lot of rubbish on there. The rubbish pile, believe it or not, was as tall as a double-story house. So the story went for the guy that was in the yard behind mine. He owned all those. Apparently, this is what I've heard. He owned all those bits of land that were separated. So there was 500-600 square meter blocks that were industrial. He used to own all that. Had a really, really good skip bin business. Used to bring all the rubbish back there, sort it. That's the one. That's the one. In North Sunshine, the plumbing company is saying. He used to have a massive rubbish pile. Apparently his business was doing really well. This is what I heard. And something happened. I think he hit the drugs and started keeping the rubbish on site, not getting rid of it, just taking money in from people that are bringing rubbish in. And then eventually the rubbish pile got out of hand and just kept moving on. Apparently he had some issues at home, blah, blah, blah. And he started living on site. So this guy would live in that rubbish pile. There was, or right beside it, there was like a little hut. He used to be there every day. And then at like, on the cameras that I had, I'd see him at like 2 or 3 in the morning, even 4 o'clock in the morning. I could see him on camera on his 14-ton machine sorting out rubbish on top of this huge pile because my cameras were facing that way. I could see him sorting out this pile. So obviously he was a bit cooked. He used to be up there working away at 4 in the morning. Anyway, I knew he was a bit dodgy because there's always deals and things going on behind him. I could see he was in the sort of street behind me. And then I never really thought anything of it, but I thought he's doing his own thing. He's keeping away from me. He can do what he wants. I used to talk to him over the fence. We used to actually say hello, not a big conversation, but I'd be nice and say hello and blah, blah, blah. Then that night, that afternoon, he was, 4 in the morning, man, believe it or not. He was, that evening, it was probably like 5 o'clock when I left the yard on the Thursday. I saw him at the top, waved to him, said, how you going? He said, yeah, good. And then he continued doing his sorting, whatever he was doing, because apparently he had to show the council that he was making some attempt to sort through that material. But I think all he was doing was just pretending and moving stuff around. Then I'd seen burning stuff off at 3 in the morning, trying to hide it. Crazy, crazy. The following morning, I was supposed to be meeting one of the workers at the yard to go to our job. And I got up at 5 o'clock like usual. And I noticed my phone had hundreds of messages on there, like notifications. So when I looked at the notifications, I noticed that they were all from the yard camera. So my cameras are set up that every time there's movement, they'll notify me that there's some sort of movement. And I remember sitting in my bed and just looking at the notifications and flicking through, and then I was shocked. I saw a white Ford Ute with my machine, my 1.8 ton machine, attached on the trailer, attached to the ute, getting dragged outside the yard and get taken away. I was watching it happen. Notifications came in from 4:30 in the morning. I got up at 5. So half an hour before I woke up, these guys have been at my yard and already locked my trailer onto their ute and taken off. I was losing my marbles. I remember getting out of the bed swearing. My wife was saying, what the hell's going on? And I was saying, I'm calling the cops. and I called the police. Um, Flew down to the yard while I was on the phone with them, thinking hopefully these guys are still in the area, because I wasn't that far from there. I was probably about 15 minutes. And Moe, yeah, keep. He's asking if I called him. Keep watching and listening. That I got to the yard at like, I don't know what it was, 5:30, quarter to 6. By the time I got there, the police were already there as well, so we sort of came at the same time. The front gate was wide open. The padlock was cut off. I went in there. The tip truck was still there. So what they had done, and we looked back at the camera footage, and what we realized was what they had done is they got in, broke into the yard. They actually cut with a grinder. They cut the actual hitch lock off, and then tried to drag the trailer sideways. But while they were dragging the trailer sideways, the jockey wheel had so much weight on it that it snapped. So then what they did was they just reversed the ute up as far as they could, attached the chains from the trailer to their ute, and just dragged the actual excavator the whole trailer out of the yard and down the road. So we could actually see drag marks all the way out the gate and all the way down the road. So the police and I walked and followed the drag marks, and they went down about 200-300 meters down the road, and then we found the bottle jack there. So they obviously stopped down the road, got a bottle jack, lifted up the trailer, hitched it onto their ute, and then took off. Anyway, in amongst all this, I said to the police, it's very strange that they knew what time we come there and start work. So they obviously tried to get there before we did. I said it's as if somebody was telling them what time we come and go on that. And the first thing I thought was the neighbor behind me, yeah, because he's always on site. He lives there, so he knows when I come and go. He watches me from the hill. He saw me the night before on Thursday and waved to me and probably thought, oh, yeah, beautiful. I know what time he's leaving. So that was 6 in the morning. The police said, leave it to us. We're going to investigate. And I said to him, if anything, make sure you go and see the guy behind me. I have a feeling he'll have something to do with it. But I said, I'm not sure, just letting you know. Anyway, they left. So in the meantime, my operator and I were trying to work out what to do. He turned up and he was like, what the hell's going on? And then we started talking. And I said to him, look, there's nothing much we can do now. Let's try and do this. It's funny because on that Friday, that's when the actual guy coming to install the tracking device on the 1.8 tonner was supposed to come as well. So how funny is that? On the day the machine gets taken, that's when the guy was booked in to come in and put the immobilizer and that in. So anyway, I had to call him and say, don't worry about coming to this machine, go and do the other ones. So he went and worked out the other machines. In the meantime, I said, I've got to go and get new padlocks and work out how we're going to lock everything back up again. And the police said they'll get back to me. I went and I gave him all the footage as well from the camera. So we had footage and actually had good footage of that car, and couldn't see the people's face properly, but we had a good image of the car. So we went to Bunnings and got some new padlocks and stuff and made our way back to the yard. On our way back to the yard, he said to me, why don't we go see if your neighbor knows anything? Maybe we should just go talk to him. And I was saying, you know what? Actually, it's probably not a bad idea. We'll go talk to him. So we start driving around to go see him because we had to go around the block to see him because he backed onto my yard. As we got around the corner, so this is only a few hours later, so maybe like 9, I think it was 9:10 in the morning. We get around the corner and guess what I see? That same white Ford Ute is sitting in front of his yard. Two guys, pretty sort of beefy guys, were sitting on top of leaning against the Ute, talking, and that neighbor was there having and some people are saying I've got him invested. That neighbor, the junkie I called him, is standing there talking to them. And my operator goes, oh my God, that's the same car. And I said, it is, isn't it? It's the same car. How convenient. It's a white Ford Ute with a tray on the back. I mean, you don't see that all the time. And I go, that's definitely the same one that was in the photo, in the camera footage. So I stood back a little bit. I reversed back a bit so they couldn't see my car because I wasn't sure if they'll recognize my stickers and that. So, because I had my name all over the Ute. So I called the police. And I'm talking to the police, and I said to him, I am 100% sure this is the car that was in the footage I gave you this morning. I said, you need to get here right now before they leave, because they're all talking to the neighbor right now. They're there now in front of us. And they're saying to me, don't do anything, do not intervene, just stay there and watch what they're doing. As I looked to tell my operator something, he was gone. He was out the door, and I see him running down the road, and I said, where are you going? And he goes, I'm going to get the tipper and block him off. So he ran back to the yard, started up the tip truck. I had a Mack truck then, a Mack tipper. He jumped in it, drove around the block, and stood a few, like, maybe 20 meters away from him, and stayed like on the side of the road, ready to block him off in case they took off. So then I'm on the phone to the police, and I'm saying, what do I do? They're right here. They're right here. And they said, just stay there. We're on the way. Just let us know straight away. Call us back if they start leaving. So I hung up the phone. Then I called my operator, and I said, take some photos of the ute from the back as well, and I'll take some from the front. So we're taking photos. So they couldn't see us because we're like, on either end of the street. And he took a photo, I took one, and I started looking at it, and I realized the rego plate on the back that he took was different to the one that I took on the front. So anyway, I called the police again, and I said, hey, this car has got two different regos on it. I gave them the rego numbers, and they took that and said, we're on the way. I could hear them. I could hear like cars driving. Then the next minute they call me back, and they said, how's it going? And then as they're asking me what's happening, the two guys get in their ute, and they start the car. And I was like, he's about to leave. They're gonna leave. What am I gonna do? And they're going, don't you do anything. And I said, I'm gonna stop him. I'm gonna block the road. And they're going, don't do it. Do not get involved. And I couldn't help myself. The ute started driving towards me. So I pulled up my ute in front of him. I don't know why. I don't know what. Just something got into me, and I thought, I'm not letting these guys go. I pulled up in front of him and turned the ute sideways to block the road. These guys come straight basically up to my door, like the nose of their car comes up to me, and they're just looking at me, and they're lifting their hands up, going like, what are you doing, mate? Because I don't think they realized who I was. Didn't know whether to get out or do what to do, so I just stayed in the car. And then they tried to go like back, reverse, and then try and go around me. So I reversed back and kept blocking them. Then they did a U-turn and started going the other way. And then I saw my operator put the truck against sideways in the street and blocked them off completely. And then they tried to go over the nature strip, so he reversed up on the nature strip, blocked them right off. I'm telling you, it's like a movie scene. So then they did a U-turn, started coming back towards me, but in the meantime, I've already straightened myself up and started driving down towards them. And then it was like we're going nose to nose like in the movies, and not just trying to see who's going to be the first one to move. And I was thinking, I'm not moving, man. I'm gonna go straight for you, because I did not want them to go. And on the same, I still was on the phone to the cops, and they're going to me, stop, do not get involved. And then I just kept going. And then as I came towards them, they went left, like they did a bit of a dummy. They sort of went left, and then they went right and went around me, jumped over the nature strip, went around, and they were looking at me and swearing, and they took off. And I don't know if they still realize who I was. I don't know if they realize I'm the owner of the machines they just bloody took this morning. But I did a quick U-turn, and I took off after him, and we were going down towards, I don't know if you guys know McIntyre Road, but it's a busy road at that time of the morning. These guys turned left onto the road. I swear I didn't even look at the cars coming. I was just so focused on getting them. Probably silly, but in the heat of the moment, I just followed them. I went wherever they went. I went straight behind them, and I did not want to lose them. So I think they realized after I followed them all the way down to where Sunshine Hospital is, that I'm following them and staying right up their bum. They actually started turning into all these little side streets to try and lose me. And obviously I'm in my little diesel ute, and they were in the Ford. I think it was like a BA Falcon or something. And then they turned one corner, second corner, third. They were starting to get away from me. I'm on the phone with the cops, and they're going to me, where are you now? And I'm telling them the street names, and they're going, we're coming. We've got choppers coming. We've got everything. Just keep following them. Try not to lose them. And I'm giving them the street names. And then I could hear helicopters above me. I could hear all the choppers in the background. And then I followed them all around that Furlong Road. If people know Melbourne, Furlong Road, Sunshine Hospital. I was just circling, following them as they're trying to get away. And eventually they got too far ahead, and they started flying that fast that they were bouncing over roundabouts, and it just got a bit out of hand. So I sort of stopped and went back a little bit, and I lost them. I knew I lost them somewhere in that area. By that time, the police were up behind me, and they were saying, which way did they go? And I said, they went that way, but I said, they were flying. I don't know if you'll catch them. Anyway, eventually, they called me back and said, it's all up to us now. Leave it with us. We're going to sort it out. Make sure you go back to the yard. Just do what you got to do, and we'll get back to you. So that's it. And I didn't hear anything after that. I did not hear a thing for the rest of that night. And then about 3 a.m. in the morning, I'm getting phone calls from an unknown number in the middle of the night. They rang like 2-3 times, and I thought, I better answer this. So I answered it, and it was constable, whatever, from the Werribee police station saying, we've got 2 people in custody. We believe they're the guys that were that took your machine. However, what was your machine? They want to know what it is. And I said, it's a little Kubota U17. And they're going, what color is it? And I was saying, it's like an orangey red color. And I could hear them talking to each other. There must have been more people in the background. And the police were going to, is it yellow? Is it the yellow one? Is it a PC, whatever? Or is it, and they were naming all these machines. And I was going, what? How many machines have you got there? And they go to me, mate, you have just uncovered a massive ring, or whatever you want to call it. They had multiple machines in the backyard of this house that they found, and it was in that area where I lost them. So they must have been trying to get back to where they are. And then the cops said to me, your machine's not here. We've got all these machines except for yours. And they said, yeah, everything's not there. Yeah, excavator theft ring. Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, they didn't find my machine. So they said they must have got rid of your machine straight away. So somewhere between 5 in the morning and 9 or 10, whatever time it was that I saw them, they already got rid of it. So I don't know where they took it, to a farm or whatever, but they got rid of it. But the cops found all these other machines. Then they told me they also found a factory in East Keilor where they had a whole factory full of stolen stuff, all earthworks related, machinery, attachments, everything. So yeah, they said to me, you've uncovered a massive, like a theft ring, man. So on top of all that, and yes, somebody's just asking me, think about it, saying, did you go see the goose behind you? I'll tell you a funny story about that. So I got fired up. I wanted to go and see him, and I was saying to the police, he's definitely got something to do with it. Thank you for the roses, guys. I said, this guy has 100% something to do with it. They were there, and I said to the police, they were there obviously either getting money, giving him money to say, like, thank you for organising it. There must be a reason. Why would they come back like an hour or two after taking the machine and come and take that risk of just being seen in the area? I don't understand. And I said, they must have been there for a reason. Anyway, the police told me that later on they caught the guys. It was a father and son, junkies, of course. And yeah, they were known for doing this sort of stuff. And I think one of them got like 6 months prison, and the other one, I don't know what happened. He was still going through courts and stuff. But it just goes to show you that nothing happens to him anyway. I did go see the guy behind me, and my operators were sort of telling me don't go, because they knew I might do something silly. But I did go and see him, and he just played dumb and said, I don't know what you're talking about. It's got nothing to do with me, nothing to do with me. I said, all right, no worries. And then the funny thing is, on the phone to people, when I was explaining what happened, I'd say, I'm going to burn this guy's bloody hut down. I'm going to kill him and this stuff. I was going off. Not that I would do that, but I was just saying all these things. And the worst thing is that a few weeks later, and I know he had some trouble with people, a few weeks later, somebody burnt his whole, the little shed that he lived in, and half the rubbish pile went up on fire, and somebody burnt it all. And everyone was ringing me up going, oh, you're crazy. You did it, man. You did it. You're crazy, man. You're grouse. You did it. And I was like, I swear I didn't do it. Everyone thought I did it. But I was like regretting saying that, because I thought if anyone's listening to that on the phone, if just say the police are listening, they're going to think I did it. So I had to be really careful. And it just goes to show, be careful what you say, because it could have been used against me. But on top of all that, what happened to me? This is what I was going to say. This is how it relates to you guys, I suppose. As a result of having those machines, all the machines broken into and taken, and then that one specifically, insurance started investigating me. They started thinking, hang on a minute, this guy's got all machines disappearing. There must be something wrong here. What's going on? And it's funny how it all happened in 1 year. So they actually started investigating me. I remember I got a phone call one day and there was an investigator saying, "Hi, I work for such and such insurance company. I need to come and have an interview with you. Um, and I need to see your phone records. I need access to your phone records. I need access to your all your books." So they wanted to see all my profit and loss statements, all my accounting stuff. I th- so basically what they were saying is they think that I'm doing something dodge. So the I told the investigator, I got nothing to hide. Come whenever you want. So he came down the next day, whatever it was, and we sat and we did a 2 or 3 hour interview. And he recorded. I remember he had like 2 recorders in case one doesn't work. That's what he told me. And he said straight up, he goes, "You know what?" He goes, I can tell straight away that you're not that type of person. So he goes, "I'm already like gonna believe whatever you say anyway, but I still have to do this as part of my job." And he said the other thing is the video footage, the camera that I had set up in my yard saved me, because he said by having that and having proof that the machine was taken, and then by them being able to catch those guys, he said that has helped you, because if you didn't have that, he goes, I was already told by the insurance company that you definitely must be doing something shifty if all these machines are going missing. So as a result, the premium went up. I got investigated. Then it was basically I had no work for my operator on that used to use the 1.8 tonner, so I had to sacrifice myself and whatever machine I was on. So if I was on, just say on the 5 or the 14, I had to put him on that machine. So then I had to sacrifice, my work and then put my operator on there to keep him busy. And it wasn't for about 2 or 3 months it took to get my insurance money back from the machine. So that means, for 1 or 2 months I had no income from that machine, and also couldn't go buy another one because I had no money to buy it, because I had to wait for the insurance money to come through. So it just goes to show that you try and do the right thing. Exactly right. You try and do the right thing. People are writing stuff. Sorry. You try and do the right thing. You nice to people, and look what happens, man. So that's just an exciting story. I always thought about telling it, but I never did. And my wife said, "Why don't you just tell them that story? Because it'd probably be exciting. People want to hear these things." And hopefully you guys can relate to that if it ever happens to you. Just be careful, especially if a few things happen in the same year, which happens with, it's not in our control. It can happen. Um, people, insurance companies and that will get very sus straight away. So make sure you've got cameras, make sure you've got immobilizers, tracking devices on all your machines, because it helps. And I've heard multiple stories after that. You know how many times rental companies have told me that if they didn't have trackers, they'd lose half their machines. A lot of them go missing, and the trackers help them get them back. So, make sure that you put all those sort of procedures and processes in place, because you don't want to go through what I did and have insurance, insinuating that you're doing insurance jobs and this and that, because it's not fun. I can tell you that it's not fun. So it sounds like fun now, but I was going through such a stressful time when that, especially when that 1.8 tonner got taken. It was like the last straw. I was like, "This is crazy, man. How many things can happen to me in 1 year? Is this a punishment for me going overseas and having a bit of a break? I don't know." So I have seen a new Scoop Hire. I actually know the guys from Scoop Hire, so they're nice guys too. If you ever need to hire a machine, make sure you go and see Hayden and the boys in there. Yeah, I think about it saying, well done, enjoyed hearing it. It's nice to hear that. Bless, as you're saying, man, it's terrible. Yeah, so look, out of something bad, I suppose there's always some fun out of it. So it was a bit of excitement. My workers were happy to hear about it. Um, Actually, I can tell you some more stuff if you want. The funny thing is, there's a whole bunch of people with trucks and that around the area. So that's an industrial area where everyone keeps their machines and trucks. Petar was asking, "Do you ever get an excavator back?" No, I didn't know, as I never found it. But I'll tell you a funny story. I had somebody ring me about maybe 2 years after. Somebody called me and said, "I have a feeling I know where your machine is." So someone that I know that is also in the industry goes, "I have a feeling these guys were bragging about how they got a machine really cheap. It was stolen and this and that. And they did some work for me." And he said, "I swear it looked like your machine, even the trailer and everything." And I had a couple of boys that work with me, and I told them the story. They go, "Let's just go. Let's go." We had a rain day. I think we were rained off, and we were just sitting at the yard. And they go, "Let's just go check them out. We know where their because my mate told me where they were staying, where their factory is. So we went for a drive, and I was like driving, and I'm thinking, why am I even going there? Like it's already been 2 years since. Like even if it is my machine, what am I going to do? I got the insurance money back, but inside I was like, I just want to go there, and I'd love to see who took it, and maybe even I don't know, just let them know that I know what they've done. And then we went there, and luckily there was no one in there. They weren't there for the day. We saw one of the neighbors, and the neighbor was saying to us, what are you guys doing here? And we said, just let them know that we've come to have a look at the machine they took from us. And and he was like, oh, okay, all right. So I don't know if the message ever got back to him, but we never went back. I just said there's no point. My workers were like really adamant, we should go get it back, man. I was like, nah, I don't want any more headaches, man. Like it's already done. I got the insurance money. Like I've moved on. So the funny thing is I never bought a 1.7 again after that. I sold a little 4-ton tipper and then got rid of the 1.7. But I do regret it somewhat because that little 1.7 was good, man. It was very handy for these little tight access jobs. We used to do a lot of Telstra work with it. So yeah, sort of spewing it's gone. But no, good. It's a good story I can share. I've got a lot more other stories. So if you guys are keen to hear those, I can do them over the next few episodes. But that is one of them. And the other thing is, yes, as I was starting before to say, one of the guys was telling me that I met a guy actually like not long after that, and he was saying, "Yeah, I've got a tip truck. I parked down the road." And then we were talking. I was telling him the story about my machine. And he goes, "Hang on a minute." He goes, "I know what you're talking about." And he said, "These guys one morning," and he didn't realize it was my machine. He goes, "There was these guys one morning. I went to go pick up my truck to get ready for work, and as I came out with the tipper, I saw them struggling with their trailer. It looked like the trailer with an excavator on the back had come off the hitch, and they were trying to lift it up." And he goes, "I actually got out and gave him a hand." And he goes, "I was saying to him, oh, do you want a hand?" And I was like, "Yeah, no worries." So they were actually actually helped them with the bottle jack and stuff, put it back up onto the hitch and lock it all on. And he said, "I noticed they looked a bit sus. Like he goes, they just didn't look like operators." And then he goes, "But I just thought, oh well, you can't judge people." And he goes, "I just drove off." And then he said, I never even realized. And he goes, that was your machine. So there you go. So this guy actually didn't even, without realizing, actually got out to give him a hand. And when I told him where it was, he goes, "Yeah, I was there. I was there helping him put it onto the hitch." So there you go. So anyway, that's another story for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. What about your Bobcat E20? I don't have a Bobcat E20, no. You might be thinking of somebody else's, but that's not my one, yeah. Oh, maybe, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, that wasn't my machine, no, sorry. Yeah, that was just a demo machine, yeah, sorry. I just sat in that demo machine, Petard, yeah. So, yeah, he helped him out, didn't even notice, didn't even realize that was my machine. So, yeah, there you go. Small world as well, man. Yeah, so anyway, look, I've taken up all the time just talking about my topic. I got a bit excited. What else is there? Are you guys happy to discuss something else? Do you want to hear a bit more? Here we go. Moe's asking a question. All right, so that's enough of my topic. Let's go on to yours. Brent is saying he remembers that story. That's it, man. Yeah, I've told a few people about it. Good to hear from you again, Brent. What size excavator is most suitable for subdivisions? Oof, that's a good one. Here we go. Matt saying, "Do you have a Honda Civic behind Pepper or Pig?" No, I don't. No, 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 no. Love your stories. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, sorry. So wait, the first question was, what size excavator is most suitable? I would say a 14.5-ton machine or a 14-tonner with offset boom so that you can do electrical trenches, you can do road boxing, you can do footpaths, you can do everything with that. And you can be almost as small, you can almost do the 5-ton sort of jobs, like electrical crossings, road crossings, sorry, all that sort of stuff, curbs. You can do all that. You can do Aggie trenches. So I think like a 14-tonner is a good one, even maybe like an 8-tonner or a 10. So that way you're not too small that you can't do like loading out trucks and things, but you're not too big. So, you're not going to get stuck on just working on top of piles and loading and sorting. So that's my opinion for Moe. Blessos is asking what's everyone's opinion on GPS. So Oh, Marty, yes. He's talking about a Honda Civic behind Pebble Pig. Yes, I get you. I get that. They're the good old times. That's where the yard is, man. Not far from there. And with rubber pads. Sorry, that 14 tonner, I would have rubber pads on there exactly. So you can cross over roads if you need to, go over driveways, crossovers and things. Yeah, that's right. So that's what I had. That was the last machine I had on subdivisions, was a 14 with all that. Except the only thing I didn't have, I actually had an SK135 Cabelco, not with the offset boom, but I did have a tilting hitch. But I do wish I had a offset boom on there, because then you could do a lot more with it. Um, and GPS, I think GPS is going to become more and more necessary. It's going to be expected, I reckon, man. Eventually, they'll want you to have it on your machines, and it's not going to be just for the big machines. I think they're going to want it in small ones too, because civil companies are quickly realizing the effectiveness and the efficiency in not having to have, surveyors come down and put pegs in everywhere, not having, laborers out there checking and dipping heights and holding dumpies and stuff. It makes sense to try and avoid all those costs if you don't have to. So you can just put a machine out there on its own with an operator and GPS, and just, let them go for it, and not have to worry about getting surveyors in, like I said, laborers watching them, supervisors coming to check. So I think there's a lot of savings in there for companies, and they're going to make it basically expected. So hopefully I've answered that question for you, blessos. And at least with GPS, it's getting more affordable. Exactly. So it's like anything. When it first comes out, you're gonna pay premium for it, and then as people start buying it and becomes more widely used, it's going to get cheaper. So because there's going to be more competition, and you can see it now. There's a lot more companies offering GPS now, and it's getting cheaper, and they're finding cheaper alternatives as well. So yeah, it won't be long before people are, like I said, every machine's going to have it, and some machines are coming out with it now. A lot of them got 2D and and that already included. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes just the norm now. I'm always saying that, yeah, re-establishment surveyor costs a lot, like 3 lots, $900 every time he comes out. That's right. So it will work out cheaper for a civil company to let someone with an excavator come and dig, and pay them that little bit extra without having to pay a surveyor to come back 5-6 times. So yeah, Mate, I know all about that Honda Civic behind Purple Pig. There you go. That's exactly where it is, man. What else? People are submitting questions. Let me just scroll back. Sorry, I missed a couple. While I'm scrolling and you guys are asking more questions, don't forget to follow me on YouTube as well. So anyone that's not following, make sure you go and subscribe on YouTube. Plenty of videos on there. All these podcasts are on there. All these live sessions are on there as well. So if you miss something or you want to go back and look at something, go to YouTube and you'll see them on there. And they're also on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and you've also got me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that sort of stuff. And there's a Facebook group as well. So if you want to join that group, you're welcome to join. And that way you can always keep involved and find out what's happening. So we all try and help each other. And more importantly, make sure if you need any Earthworks services or a business, if you need to use someone for something, make sure you go to earthworkshub.com.au and search up by category if you want. All types of there's heaps of categories. There's thousands of categories on there of different types of services, and people providing, like subbies with machines, tree guys, surveyors, GPS providers, sales, machine sales. It's all on there on Earthworks Hub. If you need to use someone, go on there and search them up and you'll find them. And if you've got a business in Earthworks, make sure you go and you add your business to there as well, so that everyone can find you and use you whenever they need someone. So yeah, if you're selling machines, if you're an operator, or an owner operator, and you've got a business or anything to do with Earthworks, man. If you're a concreter, even other construction industries, I've got people on there that do scaffolding and safety rails and that. So yeah, make sure you go to Earthworks Hub, put your business on there so that people can find you and use your services. Moe's asking, how's your warehouse build going? Would you suggest it? You know what? It's my first warehouse build. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the process. And what I'm finding is that everyone's helpful. Like all the guys I'm dealing with, maybe it's because I'm in the earthworks field. I'm a bit more understanding on, not everything can be done in a flash. Whereas some people that haven't been in like construction or in earthworks, and they're a bit unrealistic sometimes. So I'm a little bit more lenient. Like if guys say to me, "Oh man, we can't come tomorrow because it's raining," this and that, I understand. Whereas other guys might be a bit less understanding. So, and the other good thing is, everyone's helpful. Like, the concreters suggested a steel guy, and the steel guy suggests a carpenter, and the carpenter tell me, "Oh, go and use this there guy." So everyone's sort of helpful and willing to give me like contacts of people they use. So now the warehouse build is going really well, and yeah, I just find that you have to be a little bit flexible with everyone. So that seems to work well, and a lot of times not to get too involved. So it's not good to micromanage. Like with our businesses, you don't want to micromanage all your guys so much that they can't make a move without you being there. You want them to be able to think for themselves. And that's what I'm finding. If I just leave people to it, they work things out. And a lot of times, like the concreters were contacting the steel guy direct. They weren't calling me to call him. They'll just call him and they'll work it out. Then, they'll call the draftsman, they'll call this guy, they'll organise um, the inspector to come out. So, yeah, if they were just relying on me all the time, it's like I'm the third person that has to always get involved, and it becomes a nightmare. So that's one thing I've learned with the build. Just let things be, man. Let guys work it out, and it'll happen. So very very it's definitely not something easy, especially when it's all big bucks. Yeah, like every time I get bills, it's thousands and thousands. It's not like a couple of hundred. So it is a bit scary when I'm spending that sort of money. But when I can see what the end result is or what it's going to be, then I'm happy to do it. So I would suggest it to anyone. Yeah, anyone that's thinking about building, even a house and that, it's not as daunting as you think. You just got to make sure it's like when you're managing any sort of project, even if you're doing an earthworks project. Just set yourself some milestones, put some steps in there, and make sure you give yourself a budget and try and keep sticking to that budget and following it. And then make sure every time you spend something, write it down, and then so that way you're keeping track of what you've spent and how much money you've got left. So that way you don't go way over and blow it out, and then put yourself in the shit. So that's what I would recommend. Man, I've spoken so much. Let me have this. This tea's gone cold. No scotch today, guys, on the teas. It's bloody freezing. I hope everyone was happy with that. It's already been an hour, so I don't want to go on too long. Make sure you guys can make sure you go on and buy some merch. So if you want, go to www.earthworkshub.com.au, click on shop, and you can get yourself t-shirts, or now that it's winter, you can get yourself a nice hoodie and represent Earthworks Hub. I haven't got mine on today. I was last minute rush, but yeah, go on and you can see them in the store and you can buy them. ProX is saying great episode. Thank you, man. I'll have to thank my wife actually. She suggested this topic, and I'm actually really happy, man. So I'll definitely share some more stories in the next few episodes. Josh is asking how to get a job with me. Do I need experience? With myself, in some of the previous episodes, I was saying that I'm going to start slowing down a bit with the excavation part so I can focus on this sort of stuff. So I'm probably not the best person to ask. But if people need someone, yeah, make sure you guys hit up Josh, who is Josh hashtag Team Taco. So make sure you guys hit him up if you've got any work for him. If you need any more information, go to my YouTube channel, and there's a fair few videos there on, how to get your tickets and what to do when you want to become an operator. And there is going to be a group session coming up. So a couple of you guys have contacted. I reckon probably we'll do it this week sometime. I've invited a couple of guys to do a group session, and we're going to talk about, not that type of group session, if you guys keep it clean. We're going to do a group podcast where we talk about how to become an operator. So keep your eyes out on that episode coming out. And I want to say thank you very much to Jack Healy from EMBE and for all these gifts. So hopefully everyone saw that. I got a t-shirt. Oh, where is it? For anyone that joined a bit later on, Jack sent me a gift to say thank you for being on my podcast a few weeks back. So he's given me a t-shirt with his company on there, some pens. He's given me a lovely calendar, which I can't show you guys, but you can imagine what's on there. Nothing beats the old school calendars that used to be in the garage. People are too sensitive. You can't have those sort of things anymore. But I'm going to put it up in the garage. And he gave me one of these little can insulators and a couple of stubby holders. So thank you very much for that, Jacko. Guys, I have spoken enough, I reckon, and hopefully I've answered all your questions. I appreciate everybody coming out and sitting with me for this time. It's what is it, 9 o'clock already? Tomorrow, most people have to get up early and go to work. So I won't keep you anymore. Thank you once again for joining. I will see you guys on the next one. Have a good week.